Oh, what a sickener. Complete performance against Preston, yet it's still not enough. What a sickener for Argyle. Fantastic performance at Deepdale, but still not enough to keep them in the division. However, there's optimism. James says, what are the odds on a 16-0 win against Leeds? Welcome back. We've got Chris Reese and Jaden to run the rule over what has been I say, Chris, it feels flat for a neutral because we obviously want you to do it. But how's the feeling in the fan base?
Well, I've got to be honest with you, Mark. Saturday, it could have been an absolute funeral march, couldn't it, really, having found out that we were relegated beforehand. And you couldn't have blamed anyone if they felt like that, if it went solemn. But it didn't. It was completely the opposite. We ended up having a party. And they really, really got behind the team. And I think it surprised the team. And they really responded, obviously winning 2-1. It could have been more. I thought Preston was one of the worst teams I've seen, home or away this season. I fear for their safety in the Championship. I think they're going to be the third team that's going to come down. I'd love to think it was Stoke City, but I don't know. It's for obvious reasons, but it's going to be Preston. They were poor. And at the end, the players stayed with us, the manager stayed with, and you could see there was emotions running high on both sides of the fence, be it players or fans. Both individuals were crying. There was two or three. Randall, Edwards, really emotional. And Muslik just sat in the dugout until nearly every single fan had left that ground. He was an emotional wreck.
Yeah. He couldn't have done any more, Reese, could he?
No. I think there's a lot going around. I think he just needed 3 more games. That's probably all he needed. I think since the international break, minus Swansea, we've been a completely different team.
Yeah.
They just needed that little bit more time to settle into the club and settle players into his way of thinking, and a little bit more preparation for January and a bit more time to get maybe the striker that we needed to keep us up in, and we would have done it. But there we are. It seems to be a season of poor decisions at the wrong time from certain people in the club, and here we are now. But hopefully now they can persuade him to stay, and we push on for next season, I think.
Yeah, I mean, what are the chances of that, Jaden? I mean, we mentioned last week about clubs looking for new managers. I mean, what do you read between the lines with his interviews and his body language? Does it looking like he's fallen in love with this club?
Yeah, I think it does. I think he will stay in the end, hopefully. It's so hard to tell with managers. I don't think anyone thought Shu would leave in the way he did, but he obviously did. But yeah, I can't see that with Muslich. I can't see a club where he would go where sort of, they would offer him a contract. Obviously, people want to get him, but I don't think he'll go to like a low tier Championship side. There's no real point in that because we could easily bounce back up the way we're playing with him. So, okay. Yeah, I think it makes sense for him to stay. He's got a contract till 27. So, yeah. Hopefully positive in the summer.
Oh, good for you. Also coming up this week, we're picking our favourite home game of the season. What's been our best memory at home park? There's been so many to choose from. So we'll get the panel's view on that. We're also talking about next season already. In terms of kits, what would you like to see on the away kit? What colour should it be? Just a bit of fun. So get thinking on that. Let us know, of course, in the comments. Also got some social media takes then from that last away trip. Carl says, at least we got this manager appointment correct. Shame we didn't with the previous 2. Back him in the summer and we will bounce back. And do you think, Chris, I mean, when you look at League One, just before I ask you that, I mean, Birmingham are up, Wrexham are now up. The money teams are up. There's no Sunderland. There's no Sheffield Wednesday. There's no, if you like, stellar names in there. No disrespect to Cardiff. Do you look at that table in League One and think, yeah, we could do this?
Yeah, I expect us fully to be in the top 6, Mark. How high we reach in that top 6. Are we going to get automatic? Not necessarily, but I'd like to think we're going to make at least the playoffs. It's all going to be, whoever comes down with us with Cardiff and, like I say, either Preston or Derby or Hull. They're going to battle it out with us as well. Bolton's down there. but they haven't struck the world alight since Schumacher's been there. So there's no one that I fear. That's the thing. I think we can go away once Music gets his players in, gets the formation that he wants, gets the tactics that he wants. We can go away to teams next season and we can pick up points where we haven't done this season. And I fully believe we stand a good chance of celebrating like we did 2 years ago.
We'll all be here for it as well. Ryan says, it was the most pointless victory in our club's history. Where has this been all season? A lot of players putting themselves in the window, and I can't lie, good riddance to them. Yeah. I mean, Reese, there's a lot of players which, over the last 3 months, all of you have said, not going to be sorry to see the back of, but who fundamentally do the club need to retain of those which are potentially out of contract or need new offers? What's going to need to happen urgently to retain the players you want to keep?
I think, given the last 6 weeks, Bundu has to be one of the, if not top priority. And I think the other one is keeping Maxi. And I think if you can try and... He seems like he loves the club. He seems like he's understood the fan side of things. It's now if he forces a move or if just someone comes in and pays the right money. If he doesn't force the move and someone just comes in for the right money and takes him, you can't blame him, can you? But and that's what I think for Maxi and I think Bundu. I think that front line of Bundu, Hardy, maybe Tajani. I'm not sold on him, but I'm not against the idea of him in League One. I don't know. But certainly the Hardy and Bundu up front in League One, I think they're a scary front line, I think, for me.
Yeah. Can he do it on a cold night in Port Vale, Jaden? Tajani, given some of the issues that we've had this season?
I think he probably could, but it's a bit of a risk, isn't it? And he's only alone, isn't he? So it's just whether we want to get him or we can chance it on someone else who is probably most likely going to end up being a bit better, aren't they? For League One, we could go and get someone like Langstaff, Notts County, proven, someone similar around that, who's proven in the English League. It might be a bit safer.
Okay. All right. Finally, Chris, that was a good final stretch, says Gulhim Palmer. Congratulations for the efforts. The race was lost in the direct duels with bottom of the table clubs earlier in the season, and some of the best performances were against our top teams. I hope the team can regroup quickly and be ready to make the comeback. And that has been pointed out by a few, is that actually the better the opposition, the better we've seen Plymouth play. Why haven't they been able to get themselves up for the Cardiffs and the Lutons of the like?
I'd love to know. I'll be able to tell the manager then. Let's be fair. We've all, as I said last week, we've always done well against the better sides, and that's happened throughout time and duration at Argyle. Since I've been a fan for 60 years, we've always done better against the better team. Look at Liverpool this season. Look at Brentford away this season. You know, Premier teams, and we've beaten both of them. Went to Man City, give them a good game, and then we go and get stuffed at Swansea and play horrendous. And one of our issues is trying to get 2 games in a row where we've won both.
Yeah.
You know, and that has been a problem for us. Is we've done well at home. We've beaten Sunderland, we've beaten Blackburn, we've beaten Luton, and recently Norwich, Sheffield United, Coventry. But it's getting that second game. Once we've won that home game, it's getting the second one over the line. We went to Middlesbrough recently, having just beat Sheffield United, and we ended up losing 2-1, albeit by a dubious penalty, which should never have happened. But even that point, that would have been great to have got 4 out of 6 points. But we are where we are.
Yeah. Okay. People like ourselves have been drawing parallels with you in Cardiff City, who also were officially relegated, if you like. Although you haven't officially gone yet, have you? But there's no R next to your name. To the sense that both of you have continued with managers in which it was clear to many people watching that the manager wasn't working. In their case, they only sacked him a couple of weeks ago. In your case, is Rooney. Do you think there's a lesson to be learned by chairman here when it's clear as day that it isn't working, to get rid sooner, because then it gives your new man a bit more time?
It's all hindsight, isn't it? I think
Mm.
Hallett was desperately trying to give Rooney a chance, and was seeing that he was doing good with the interacting with the fans and with the players. It wasn't like Foster, where he clearly lost the changing room and he clearly just wasn't the right person to be managing any sort of human being. Um, but it was clear that the results weren't there. But I think they were caught between two minds of trying to make it work and get rid of. I mean, Cardiff keeping hold of whatever his name was for that as long as they did, it's just
Reason, yeah.
bonkers. And it's a downright miracle that we weren't the first team relegated, I think, and we've actually officially taken it to the last game of the season.
Yeah.
But I think in hindsight, I think you've got to realise both of us have left it too long. Could have changed. You know, you could get rid of a manager and it just doesn't work when you change the manager. I mean, Cardiff, they joined midway through the season as well, and it didn't really change their fortunes.
Yeah, he was. They dilly dallied on a
Yeah,
manager for about 6 weeks while he was an interim charge, and then just decided to give it to him, which is, I think been their downfall really.
I think I think Cardiff. We moan about the way our club has been run this season, but and you look at Preston, the mud they're in, and I mean, we've dealt with Peter Risdale before, so we know exactly what he's like. We've moaned a lot about them, but in hindsight, they're not the bad bunch. That they've made some terrible decisions, but they're trying. I mean,
Yeah,
Cardiff owner's just an absolute nut job, isn't he? So,
yeah,
and you look at Sheffield Wednesday, and I think Sheffield Wednesday's going to struggle next year. You know, they just there's worse owners around than what we've got, I think.
yeah, yeah. Here to that. Right, Jaden, Exeter then next season. Looking forward to that again.
Yeah, of course. Get
Easy
6
6
of them,
points.
hopefully. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. What did their player call you this year? Was it the bin juice of Devon, if I remember rightly, something like that? We'll have
What's
to.
them,
I'm sure.
No, that was our ex-goalkeeper talking about them. That was
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right.
yeah,
Okay.
and you got that well.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Truro are on the way up as well, aren't they? We've got a Truro to Carlisle next year is going to be a fixture in the National League.
And possibly Torquay going up as well. It's pretty.
yeah.
Brilliant. It's all happening down there. Fantastic. Great football. Right. Let's switch gear a little bit then. In the summer, I'm going to give you one wish. What's the 3 things that need to happen? One wish each, please. Chris. Fundamentally, first thing.
Given a wish each, I'll let the other 2 answer because I guess they're going to be pretty much similar to mine. So I'm going to throw a strange one out you. Back in February, we had a fans forum, and I had a little chinwag with the chief exec, and I put something at him that he said he would implement, and I'd love to think that would happen at the first game of the season, regarding giving a tribute to our home supporters who we sadly lost throughout the season. We haven't done that in the history that I've known of the club. We put pictures up on a board, but it gets lost in translation with people whose birthdays it is. So I'd love to think we have a minute's tribute for those fans per season who are no longer with us. And if that's implemented, I'll be chuffed to bits to think that little Chrissy sorted that out.
Right. Let's get that sorted. Cheers, Chris. Reese, what needs to happen this summer?
Wow, the promise that we've had for a number of years now, I think probably needs to be sawn up, and that's the investment. I think it was promised well before Christmas that it was going to happen before Christmas. Possibly 2 years ago, actually, it might have before Christmas, and it still hasn't happened. So I think some more clarity behind that, and I think, and then being able to back Muslik, I think that would help keep him.
To help you out on that, Maurice, I have heard, allegedly on good authority, that Michael Leary, the owner of Ryanair, is a big contender to be that investor.
Really?
Wow.
Watch this space.
Okay.
We're paying for a toilet then.
But he doesn't know we haven't got an airport. He hasn't found out we've got an airport yet.
Absolutely. You'll have to pay for the toilets and bring a bag in. You'll have to pay a tenner extra. Right. Jaden.
Well, you've come out with some big ones there. I'll go with a simple one. Keep Mislich, and hopefully as well, if we can, keep Bundu as well. I think they're the two main people we need to keep this summer. Definitely keep Muslich.
Brill. If you haven't yet come across the channel, do drop us a quick subscribe and quick like. We've got one more record to do when we do that next week when we review the Leeds game. It's probably going to hurt a little bit, I'm going to guess, as Leeds are probably going to get that trophy in the centre of your pitch on Saturday lunchtime. It always feels weird when they do that away grounds. When we've heard that Plymouth Town Centre is going to be overtaken by ticketless Leeds fans as well. So watch out for that. Chris, away shirts and new home shirts will be out soon. We know they're already done and dusted, but what would you, if you were in charge, what would you like to see in terms of the away shirt, colours, designs?
Well, I'd love something different. I mean, last season's was pretty weak with a white shirt and black trim, although we had a third shirt thrown in, which was yellow. Where that came from, I don't know. But so let's keep it our colours. Yes, green for home. That's a dead cert. But if we can chuck the green in as well into our away shirt, love it. Be it stripes or it's not going to be difficult to work out, is it? If you play with a lot of green for home, you can have green and black stripes like we have had in the past for away. Yeah. So yeah, I'd like that. It's a bit traditional.
Yeah. Yeah. You must think that actually you don't get to use your away kit a lot because there's not really any teams that you're going to clash with very often, is it? Let's be fair.
Just use it to sell the shirt,
so we make a white one for our away kit and we clash with every other team. That's a good one, isn't
it? Reese?
I quite like to see orange back. We had it years and years ago. I think it was years of Paul Wharton as our captain. I think I would like to see orange back.
Okay, Jaden?
I'll go light blue, like a turquoise colour.
Right,
quite nice. We've had it on some training shirts and it looks really nice. Obviously, loads of fans have gone out and bought them. They always sell out. So it'd be nice to have that on a kit, I reckon.
Smashing it. Brilliant. Now, our final question this week. Last week, we asked you for your best away trip. Of course, it's the final home game this season, so we've got to ask you for your favourite moment at home park. Because, I mean, you've had a few late-minute winners. You could create a top 5 here. Jaden, kick this off for us. What's your favourite?
It's got to be Liverpool, isn't it? It just has to be. Just unbelievable day, to be honest.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one as well. Going to be honest with you. Reese?
You got Liverpool or actually Sunderland, which I think was second or third game of the season. I think off the back of Sheffield Wednesday, and we all thought, oh, here we go, this will be a long season, and then suddenly we do that. It's just started the roller coaster of the whole season, to be honest.
Yeah, Bill, Chris.
Well, I'm going along with the same one. September the 14th, Sunderland at home, beat them 3-2. Who was the man who came up with the third goal, 93rd minute? Our captain, fantastic, Joe Edwards, kept us up last season and he kept us in that game and got us the winner. Absolute brilliant. You couldn't have written the script.
Fantastic. Right. Let us know in the comments if they've missed any. Cheers, you for joining us. One more to do next week. Enjoy the party atmosphere that's going to be dropping down on the city of Plymouth this weekend, and we'll catch up with you in 7 days' time. Thanks for joining us.